Miku? Why? You just said I'm a chica, didn't you? Sorry. I'm not even sure myself. It might have been my imagination, but for a moment, you seemed like Miku to me. You got it! Wow, that's a good scene! But before we talk about it, let's provide some context. Hey guys, I'm Captain Carr here with another video, and today I wanted to make a more serious video on my favorite scene in Quintessential Quintuplets, the You Got It scene. Anime only viewers, stop! This video contains spoilers for what may be in Season 2, so beware! During the chapters of the Quintuplets passing their exams, we can see Miku trying to make the perfect chocolate for Futuro for Valentine's Day. Now of course, chocolate is the obvious sign of affection, but that's not why we're talking about this. Molly of the Quins, outside of Itsuki, see this as Miku simply trying to be affectionate towards Futuro. We the reader know that Miku is learning how to cook, as early on in the series, she was revealed to the information that this is one of his more desirable traits in a girlfriend. I believe this shows how serious Miku is for Futuro, which is important for what we will be discussing later on. There's also a great analogy of Futuro and the sweets, where Miku says that she isn't keeping the sweets to herself, at least not yet. This shows that while passive, Miku is determined to win over Futuro through her own means that would culminate with her scoring the highest on her exams. This then leads into the Glimmer of Hope line, where it shows that both Miku and Futuro see a glimmer of hope of passing exams. However, one important note to take is that for Futuro, Miku passing her exams means that she can continue on to a bright future and further her studies, whereas for Miku, it means finally being able to confess to Futuro. Quick side note, I love when Quintessential Quintuplets does this thing where characters would say one thing, but it means something completely different for other characters. I don't know, I just find it really neat. I believe another thing worth mentioning is that during this Glimmer of Hope line, Miku is practically half nude, with her nightwear being in very poor condition. Yet, Futuro pays no mind. He doesn't blush or stutter or even have a take-back. And I believe this moment, while not very big and doesn't have much attention shown, plants seeds of self-doubt in Miku, as while she is looking like a snack with the wrapper already torn off, Futuro shows no reaction, which must be crushing for her confidence. One great factor, however, for Miku's confidence in this arc is that we are able to see Miku working to get the best score on the exam. She's sure of herself, more confident than she has been for a majority of the series, and feels as if things are finally going well in her life. She'll accomplish what she set out to do, which is to confess to Futuro. Now at this point in the series, sure, Miku may have some self-doubt, but she's confident, sure of herself, and ready to make her move once achieving the highest score out of the Quins. At least she is, until a chica enters the picture. Making a note not to hate on a chica. When a chica gains a higher score than Miku, her hopes are dashed. Her confidence to confess to Futuro is gone. She's frustrated that all her efforts to build herself up have failed, and feels as if she's further away from Futuro than ever before. This can be seen somewhat when she goes grocery shopping with Futuro. While she still wishes to see him, as showcased with this little funny moment, she deems herself a coward and can't confess to him in any way. At this point in the story, I believe Miku comes to the realization that their relationship must change for her feeling to come to fruition. So let's recap where we're at so far. At this point in time, Miku not only feels as if she has failed, but has perhaps even stepped backwards on confessing to Futuro, and feels stuck and complacent in a situation that she isn't particularly fond of. Basically, Miku isn't feeling all that high and mighty. Skipping towards when Futuro meets the Quints on the top of the mountain, Miku's confident and takes another hit when she hears Nino call Futuro by his first name. This is a huge blow to Miku, as where she may have once thought that she was close, that she had a shot at winning, that she can break out of her shell of self-doubt, but no. Due to her cowardly and complacent nature, it appears that Futuro is growing on the other girls and gaining their affection, something that frightens her to her core, as Miku cannot bring herself to fight her sisters in this war for Futuro. Going forward a tiny bit in the Scrambled Eggs arc, Miku, disguised as Itsuki, tells Futuro that she wishes for this relationship to change, or in her words, wishes to put an end to their partnership. Of course, she does this as she feels this is the only way to bring her feelings to fruition, as I mentioned earlier. But going back to Miku's wish to end this partnership, as she believes this relationship will be unable to progress at the state it is currently in. It is also important to note that she does this not as herself, but as Itsuki, for she has far too much self-doubt and fear in her heart to do it as herself. This same sense of self-doubt and fear proves to be a continuous player in Miku's character, not only throughout this arc, but the rest of the series. Now, if you would allow me to sidetrack the attention from Miku to Itsuki, I'd like to talk about the hot spring scene between Itsuki and Futuro. In this hot spring scene, we learn some very important information that is most likely floating around in Miku's head when she makes such decisions as asking to put an end to their partnership. This information I'm talking about is how the Quints are able to tell each other apart, or at least their reasoning to it, and that reasoning being that as long as there is love, you can tell the Quints apart. This is important for Miku, as from her point of view, Futuro already hardly sees her as a woman and more of a student, but to the fact that he holds no love towards her in any way is eating her from the inside out. This gives yet another reason on why she wishes to put an end to their current relationship, and more reason on why Futuro noticing Miku is also important to her and means all but the world. Going further on in the story, we get to see even more of Miku's self-doubt and pessimistic nature when she goes to bathe with Tsuki, where she says it's only been half a year since she has met and conversed with Futuro on a regular basis. This once again provides insight inside Miku's head, showing that from her point of view, Futuro can't possibly love or care about her due to the short amount of time they've known each other. Of course, we the reader know that this is not true, but Miku doesn't, once again showing her doubt in herself and her chances to win Futuro. Now let's recap everything. Miku is filled with doubt that Futuro loves and cares for her, self-doubt that she will be unable to win Futuro and her sisters will take him from him, although this is more expanded on in the sisters' war arc, and is feeling extremely poor and isn't in all that swell of a mood. However, all this changes in the next scene. In this next scene, we see Futuro trying to guess the fake Itsuki's identity, who we know as Miku, and inside Miku saying, "You can't find me." This line tells us that Miku does not believe Futuro cares for her enough to find her and her feelings for him, and purposely leaves when she realizes he can't tell them apart from cheap tricks, and gives him the wrong Itsuki to go and cry, as once again, he can't possibly find her at this moment. This is a huge confident shot towards her, stacking even more self-doubt onto what was already present. However, as Miku is walking away defeated, the man, the myth, the legend Futuro calls her by her real name, finding Miku among the quintuplets, his reason being, she seemed like Miku. This is all Miku needed to hear. This shows her that she does have a special place in his heart, and while he may not love her the same way she loves him, he holds love for her nonetheless, which is all she needed. She runs towards Futuro, hugging him as he tells her that he had an idea of what was bothering her, that being Valentine's Day. This whole entire scene and the build-up with Miku's character is phenomenal, as not only does it show Futuro retrieving Miku from the depths of despair, albeit unknowingly, but it helps place confidence in Miku as she realizes that their partnership doesn't have to change, that Miku can love Futuro and he can notice even if they keep the student-teacher relationship. I love this scene, as it is brilliant character writing for Miku, with all the build-up of her self-doubt, fear, and complacency being washed away in a brilliant manner via Futuro finding her out of the quench, showing that he holds her near and dear. This is easily my favorite scene in the Quintessential Quintuplets, and one of the best scenes I've read in manga in a long time. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I tried to make a more serious video than I normally do, and I don't know how it did, so let me know down below. Season 2 of the Quintessential Quintuplets is coming out soon at the time of making this, so I wanted to get this out there before then. Anyway, Miku's best girl, Itsuki's the best glutton girl, Ichika's the worst girl, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Special thank you to our special voice actor, Mr. Irishman, for voicing the opening sequence of the video. They performed brilliantly, and I have nothing but thanks and respect for them.